Welcome to Framework for Success. I'm Michelle Egbert, and this is an introduction video. I'm going to introduce you to Framework for Success and what the four-pillar framework actually looks like and kind of give you an idea what this channel is going to be about. But before I do that, I wanted to give you a little bit of background about myself and really how the framework came to life. So for about 2 decades, I have been working with businesses. I would say back in 1998, kind of dates me just a bit, but back in 1998, I really did a change in my life. There was a pivotal change, and that is where I first discovered the power of your purpose, the power of really understanding who you are and where you want to be, and understanding that it changes throughout our life. As a woman, what had changed in my life was that I was starting to see things a little bit differently, having a small child at home. Work really drove me. I was engaged in it. I was making a difference. I felt very powerful in that. But then now I was being torn. My daughter was 2 at the time. I wanted to spend more time with her. So, one of the things that I did that is also in my book, Framework for Success, I talk about really figuring out where you are and where you want to be. And one of the ways you can do that, a very brief brain dump, as I call it, is draw a line down the middle of the paper. And on the left hand side, write down all the things that are bringing you joy, all those things that are empowering you, engaging you in life. And then on the right hand side, all the things that aren't. And for example, one of those things was I was not spending enough time with my daughter or with my family. I was dropping my daughter off at 6:30 in the morning at daycare and picking her up at 6 at night. I didn't feel internally at the time I could be a stay-at-home mom. I was torn between the balance of the two. So one of the things that I wrote that did not bring me joy, that did not feel in alignment with me, was that tearing, that torn feeling of not sure what to do. So I flipped it. I changed all the things on the negative or the things that did not bring me joy to something that was positive, that I was being able to spend more time with my daughter and what that would look like. And when I was done, I took everything that was negative and made them all positives. And then I rewrote that list. And then I was on the lookout for that, looking at the where things that would, the doors that would open and how that would engage me. It didn't happen right away, but I started to notice more things. My lens had changed, what I was looking through. And I met a mentor in 1998, shortly after I wrote that list, that changed my life. He was my first mentor and really introduced to me something that was bigger than myself in ways personally, professionally, and spiritually. But honestly, the opportunities that he gave to me allowed me to step above. I was currently working in more of the process side of things, aligning projects, people. I enjoyed bringing everything together, solving and bringing solutions to problems. But he elevated it to a more strategic level. And then I really started to see the pieces of the framework start to come out over the next 10 years working with him, and really looking at how to align your processes, how to align your priorities with your vision or mission of a company. So I started working. I did it for about 10 years, traveled internationally, which gave me a ton of time when I was home to be with my children, because I had more children since then. But it gave me the opportunity to really work with what I call the C-suite, the chief operating officers, the chief executive officers, the chief technology officers, and work within their groups of senior vice presidents. And seeing that more as like almost like a small business, those SVPs worked in groups of about 100 or less employees, and really being able to align the strategies, their priorities into their processes and the things that they do. And then over time, I started to discover, hey, the right people, hiring the right people at the right time really made a difference for the alignment for the team to catapult and achieve the vision and mission of the company. But it wasn't until the last 10 years that I really started to structure my life differently. Took another pivot and didn't want to travel internationally. Wanted to work more locally within the United States, specifically in my state as well. And I really started to work with small businesses. And I found that this framework, that is where it thrives the best, with 100 or less employees. And really with that solopreneur, the entrepreneur that has less than 50 employees. And really over the years, just honing in on that. And in the last 10 years is really where the people piece had come in. So let me jump into really what the framework is. It's a 4-pillar framework. It's your purpose, your priorities, your processes, and your people. And really what the framework helps you do is reconnect to your purpose through exercises that I do in the book, working with clients who talk through who you are and where you want to be. And it's something constant because life will pivot, life will change. And then the second pillar of the framework is going to be your priorities, those priorities that are in alignment with your purpose, your seasonal purpose, your current purpose, the purpose you can reconnected to. And in my book, Framework for Success, and we will be doing the same on this channel, is really talk about those times when you have misalignment and how do you redirect and come back. And in my book and on the channel, we'll talk about stories. I will be bringing people on in a podcast type form where we'll talk about the people who've been there and done it, who've been a little misaligned, and how they rerouted themselves and came back. And then that third pillar is really about building those processes that support your work rather than drain it. And this is really where the burnout tends to happen with a lot of us small business owners, is we're doing everything rather than understanding where we can align, where we can automate, where we can simplify, where we can delegate, and the things that we're doing that we really don't need to be doing anymore. And because our priorities have shifted, therefore the processes and things that we do to support those may need to shift. And that fourth pillar is really people. And people is multiple facets with that. And really it's the people you hire, the people you bring onto your team, those people you connect with, those vendors that you use, those people you partner with, but it's also those communities you surround yourself with, those communities that are going to help and sustain you. That is something I have really discovered. I've known the people part, hiring at the right time, how to hire the right people, but it's really the community piece that I've really learned how much the right community can really sustain you in your time, and on the impact that you can also make within your community. So that is really the 4-pillar framework. So this YouTube channel is going to talk about the framework in different aspects: physically, mentally, spiritually. I may bring in some of the blogs that are already on my website and talk through those as well. We also be talking about the things that are in my newsletter, how to build it, provide exercises for you to reconnect with your purpose, your process, your priorities, and how to align yourself with those communities. So join me here, where my hope is to help you create your framework for success.